Welcome back to Cheesehead TV. Join us as we go all across Wisconsin, visiting some Packers legends and touring their awesome Packers shrines, hosted by yours truly, Wyatt G. Make sure y'all stick along for this journey, and remember, go Pack Go. Welcome back to Cheesehead TV. I'm your host, Wyatt G. We're back on the road with our sixth stop, doing house tours with Packers superfans all across Wisconsin. Today, we're with a very special guest.
I'm Wayne, the Ultimate Packer fan. Pleased to meet you. Welcome to my home.
Wayne, thanks for having us in your insanely awesome Packers shrine. Now, what do people mostly know you for?
Being the Ultimate Packer fan. Go to a lot of games, away games, home games. Biggest fan I can be. Just enjoy meeting everybody and having fun and watching the Packers win.
Now, a lot of people recognize the ring on top of your head. What inspired you to have the ring?
Well, actually, it's our buddy Jeff Kalo, the Frozen Thunder guy. He came up with the idea to make me a hat, and this is what he came up with. And I've lived with it now for almost 10 years, and it's become quite popular. The biggest thing is when I go to away games, people don't know me, but they see the hat and they know exactly who I am, and I'm happy to represent the Packers in a good, positive way.
Now, speaking of the Packers, we got a lot of iconic Packers history and memorabilia here. Shall we dive in?
Dive in, help yourself. I'm glad to show it off.
Let's go. There's a lot of Brett Favre stuff. You have a full Brett Favre figure right there. And you got these jerseys. Now, where did you get these ones from? Because these are really special.
Right. He was the only quarterback for almost 17 years, so that's why I have so many Favre autographs. Mm-hmm. And these jerseys, I just, through acquaintance, it's whatever. I mean, I was able to obtain the jerseys and get them autographed. And this is his 95 Pro Bowl jersey. This was from the game against the Bears, I believe in 1993. This was one of his backup jerseys. Then there's Aaron Rodgers' 2010 Pro Bowl jersey.
They won the Super Bowl? Or the year before or after?
The year before.
Year before, so dang, that was pre-Super Bowl Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
Now, it's funny that seeing this jersey, because I literally asked Wayne, I was like, they wore this color scheme back then, and I asked the year. You said 1990.
I believe it's 1993, yeah, or 94.
See, I learn something new every day. I never knew that. This was the scheme, and they wore these jerseys back in the 90s. Now, you told me something very interesting when we're talking about Packers quarterbacks.
Right.
You've gotten to see Bart Starr play. Mm-hmm. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love. I'm going to give you a hardball question. Who is the best quarterback in Packers history?
It's not really a fair question because since Bart Starr played, the game has changed so much. The rules have changed so much. It's tough, but all in all, I'm going to have to say that I prefer Favre over Rodgers. Favre had more agility, more excitement. When Favre showed emotion on, he never showed negative emotion. There was always happy emotions. I mean, I'd have to say Favre. I mean, Rodgers was a great quarterback, is a great quarterback. Almost two different styles of play.
The first Ultimate Packer fan jersey. First off, why'd you even make it? Like, why? There's so many badges. Why? What inspired you to do that?
Well, the whole story behind the Ultimate Packer fan was back in 2010, the Packer Partners Club of Champions, the only Packers fan club, had a contest for the Ultimate Packer fan. It was their first ever. Mm-hmm. And that photo won me the contest.
That photo won you the contest.
So they called me the Ultimate Packer fan, and that opened up a lot of doors for me, a lot of appearances, some commercials. Over the years, I collected a whole bunch of patches. Asked my wife if I had a jersey made up with the Ultimate fan, if she could sew them on there. So that's how we came up. So this is my first jersey. I've got 3 of them now. That's how the Ultimate Packer fan began.
So then where do you get all the patches from? Because that's a lot of patches.
A lot of the patches now, fans send them to me from all over the world. I'll meet them on social media and they'll ask, where can I send you a patch and can you send me one of mine? So we pretty much swap patches. And then when I go to away games, fans from the opposing teams, they come up and hand me one of their patches. We put this on your jersey. And
what does that mean to you when someone from across the world knows who you are and wants to just have a little conversation with you and just know who you are?
It's fantastic. I'm really flattered by it, for the fact that they recognize who I am and what I stand for. But on the same token, they're just as much as, or perhaps just as much as a fan for their part of the country where they're from. I mean, even in this country, growing up in a small town in New Hampshire, going to high school there, never, ever would I ever thought I'd have friends, outside of New England.
Right.
And now I've got friends all over the world, and it's pretty cool.
So I asked some of the other shareholders what it means to them to be a shareholder. What does it mean to you, Wayne?
It's bragging rights. It's nothing more than bragging rights. We're an owner of the team. What does it do for me? It made my bank account a little less. But I've got a great document that's nice and framed and mounted on the wall, and there's so many shareholders, and I'm proud to say I'm one of them.
You're a very unique shareholder, especially with your story and what you've all accumulated, such as what we have behind us.
Oh, sure.
We have some very, very cool jerseys. Like we have a Brett Favre Atlanta Falcons, Clay Matthews Pro Bowl
jersey.
Like, where do you get this stuff and why? Like, this is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, Aaron Rodgers autographed jersey, and I've got Bart Starr, Don Horn. I've met these guys through different events. That's how the majority come up with them. And if I didn't have a jersey with me, I'd send one to their homes or whatever. They'd sign it for me, mail it back to me. As you can see, my pool table signed by Jerry Kramer, Fuzzy Thurston, Dave Robinson, Bob Long, Chris Jackie, Amon Green. I mean, these guys have been to my house, come down here, sign my pool table. Might have had a beer or two together, maybe. I've had all these opportunities that I don't take for granted. I've been doing something great or the good, my charities, the work I do, that I'm being rewarded with it. And I really appreciate all that. I really do.
When we think of the Packers, we think community. You are very community-based around.
Exactly.
Fundraising, donations.
Yep.
Why? And what does that mean to you?
Well, for some reason, I enjoy giving and I enjoy helping those less fortunate. I really do. I grew up, never had much at all. Bought my first pair of Levi's myself when I worked at a drive-in theater. So everything I've had to work for. I just wanted more out of life, and I just worked and worked and worked. And so I like to share my time with, like I said, those less fortunate, and to help raise money for those that are experiencing hardship. And so I put these events on to help people to raise money to get that done. And I enjoy doing it.
And where can people find those events at?
TheUltimatePackerFan.com. That's my website.
You're from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
How are you a Packers fan?
I was born in 1955. That makes me old. I know that. So having said that, we had 3 major TV channels, 4, 5, and 7. And Sunday afternoon, that's what Dad put on TV, and that's what we watched, because you only had one TV in the house, and it was black and white. So I watched the first Super Bowl live on TV. Of course, the Packers won. Started following Bart Starr, the Packers. Then they won the next year. I'm a Packer fan. Back in 1992, I moved to Wisconsin for work and put my name on the season ticket list. And lo and behold, I got the gold package the second year I was here through a lottery process of when they did the transition to Green Bay. And then I was fortunate to get the outdoor club seats. I give a pair or 1 or 2 pairs of tickets, usually annually, that I'll put up for raffle for a fundraiser for a cause.
You've been to a lot of Packer games. You've had a lot of crazy Packers interactions. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite memory of being a Packers fan, or just moment?
Honestly, my favorite memory that never eludes me is when we had the Packer Fan Fest going on. Bart Starr was there, and his flight was late, and he came in like 2 hours after he was supposed to be there. So my son and I, Jarrett, we waited, and finally Bart Starr got there. It was like 7 o'clock at night. And we're waiting in line. So I go up and I hand my jacket to Bart Starr, and Bart stands up, introduces himself, asks my name, what I do, small talk, signs my jacket, to Wayne, Bart Starr. And then he reaches out for my son Jarrett's helmet. The guy standing next to Bart pushed my son away and said, they only have 1 ticket. Well, Bart Starr stood up and looked at this guy and he says, I'll tell you who I'm gonna sign for. And he says, give me the helmet, son. And he said, what's your name? He told him, where do you go to school? What grade do you win? Do you play football? And for almost 10 minutes, Bart stood there and just talked to him. And it was just, that experience right then, that was very special.
That's a classic Bart Starr story. We've heard so many when doing these interviews. Everyone has one really good story of Bart being so genuine, being himself, and really just doing it for the people, the fans.
Yeah.
That's what he loved.
Bart was for the fans, hands down. Him and Cherry both were just class acts.
What is your favorite item that you have collected?
Quite honestly, my most cherished item is Brett Favre's only helmet that he wore the 2000-2001 season. And I've got a personalized letter from Bart that describes the helmet to a T that he signed. It's one of one, and so that is my most cherished item.
Wayne, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having us in your house.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate having you guys and showing you my shrine. It's a lot, and I'm glad to show everybody what we've got so I can share it with the rest of the world. And when you get time, visit my website, TheUltimatePackerFan.com.
If you guys want to see Wayne and me, make sure you go to a game this year. Otherwise, like, subscribe, See you on our next video. Go Pack Go.
Oh, I was going to say, and don't forget to have an ultimate beer.